This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Friday, April 26, 2024, and we're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will bring you the latest Iowa Ag News headlines, but first, it's time for our closing market summary.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Joined once again on our closing market summary by Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. Good to see you again, Curt. What happened in the grains here today?
Well, they actually held together on a Friday. Sometimes these Fridays can be kind of sloppy to the downside, so we'll take it. Weather's kind of the main topic. Of course, wheat's been a bottle rocket to the upside here this week, just various different things. But weather-wise, we're getting a lot of rain here, but we're seeing some deficits out west, and some of the elevators and farmers out there are reporting that this wheat crop's kind of deteriorating pretty good. Also, too, Europe's a little iffy on their wheat production. South America weather. So weather's kind of the main feature in through here as we head home. Main thing is corn and bean producers. Maybe this is the drought buster we've been waiting for, because we're going to receive anywhere from 1 to 6 inches of rain here as we go over the next few days. So with these warmer temperatures next week will hopefully pretty well get us back in the field here in another week or so. Locally here, we've made some pretty good headway. We've got quite a few of the beans in and a good chunk of the corn. Guys didn't know whether to plant beans first or corn first, so everybody's got a corn planter going in, a bean planter going in until today on that. Planting progress Monday afternoon is expected to be about 25% complete as a nation on corn. Beans right up there around 18% complete. Weather will be the key here as we move on forward. Coming in midday, commodity funds bought about 2,600 contracts of wheat, 2,900 contracts of corn, sold 2,400 contracts of beans, sold 1,700 meal, and bought about 1,400 bean oil contracts going into midday. News Friday, no news on the export side. The exports seem to be a little skinny here. Of course, Thursday we saw a huge, or better expected, corn export sales report. Corn exports remain strong. Corn bases remain strong. Bean-wise, just kind of sloppy there. We're waiting for this crush pace to pick up to offset what we're losing in this soybean export news. We had option expiration today, the May puts and calls. And the significance of that is when we come in here Monday, you're going to see a huge drop in the May, particularly corn futures positions, because traders hedge their position and they got puts and calls to help offset that. So that's going to take a big chunk of the open interest out of the May, which is in time for deliveries on Tuesday. If you're long the futures or need to do some basis rolling here to the very last second, Monday's probably the last day to get that squared away ahead of Tuesday's first notice day. Don't expect a whole lot of deliveries for the most part. South America, Argentina corn and bean harvest is ramping up. They've seen just a little bit of deterioration. They've had some pretty good flooding rains in some areas. Of course, that corn crop's really struggling. We've had some adverse weather there. We've seen the bugs and disease and everything else get in there. And actually, Argentina's corn crop's about 17% good to excellent. So we'll continue to monitor that as we go into next week. Technical, good day, good week. Corn finished up 7.5 cents for the week. If you look at a price chart, we're a few cents away from the March highs there. If we poke that out, maybe we can see some additional short covering take place. The funds were short about 266,000 contracts of corn, about 158,000 contracts of beans. So if we can get them on the buy side, that'd help a ton. Soybeans up 11.5 cents for the week. Thing about the beans is we had a nice price reversal, the upside there last Friday. We built on that reversal. So if we can get an uptrend channel going here, technically that'd be supportive. And on the wheat, as we mentioned, just total strength. We're 80 cents off the lows from last week there. It's 55 cents higher on the weekly chart for the Chicago wheat. So it's been fairly strong in through here. But the weather guys are going to get the main play as we move forward in through here. Right now, just a little wet, but we're going to need some of this moisture again here in June and July here, Mark.
As we look at the other side of the ag marketplace in the protein sector, it's interesting, Curt, talking with Jim McCormick of agmarket.net this morning on our radio program. He said one of the most volatile periods for the cattle market that he can remember in his career. What did we see happen with the cattle and hogs today?
Oh boy, yes. The fat market had a big gap up here on starting out the week. Followed through for a day or so, then we came back down, filled the gap plus some, but the fat market came back, and I know the June fats closed up almost $3 on the weekly chart. So yes, the meat sector is quite volatile. Some of the moving averages went back into a buy mode here on the fats. Overall, beef cutouts been kind of flat this week. Export news is kind of flat, waiting for some cookout featuring to take place. Hogs, on the other hand, they were on the short side of the equation. Bought cattle, sold hogs. Hog market was down about 250, 230 on the weekly chart. Exports just a little sloppy on the pork. This pork index has been on a steady decline in through here. Pork inventories were up just a little bit on the cold storage report, but still quite a bit down from a year ago. Loins 97, hams 83, bellies 113 at the wholesale level. So that's about where we've been for the most part. Still watching bird flu. There's a report out that 1 in 5 samples of milk did have some traces of that virus in there. Pasteurization is supposed to take care of it here. So that'll continue to be the market maker here as we move forward. The dairy herd's going to need some IDs to move across state lines. So they're monitoring on top of it. But we're in a situation here where this warmer weather promotes some cookout featuring.
Curt Kimmel, thanks so much for the time. As always, we appreciate it. What's the best way that our viewers should get in touch for more marketing information?
1-800-779-1515. You go to agmarket.net and click on Intel, and that's where you'll see Jim McCormick, Matt Bennett, Brian Split, all of our big chiefs there, keeping you updated on the marketplace.
Curt, thanks so much for the time, and have a great weekend.
Take care.
Thank you to Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net for our market summary here today. Let's turn now to the closing numbers, which can be found under the markets tab of our website at iowaagnet.com.
May corn closes down 1 even at 440 even. May soybeans down 3 1/4 at 11.59 May soybean meal down $3.90 at 340 even. May soybean oil up 11 cents at 44.93. Chicago wheat up 1 even at 603 1/4. Minneapolis wheat up 6 1/4 at 697 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 14 1/4 at 646 1/4. May oats up 6 3/4 at 373 3/4. On the Merc, June live cattle up 77 cents at 178.57. May feeder cattle up $2.45 at 248.70. May lean hogs down $1 even at 94.27. May pork cutout down $2.07 at 103.17. And Class 3 milk down 18 cents at 18 even.
That's our ag market coverage for today. It is time now to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soybean Checkoff. And up next, it is the latest Iowa Ag News headlines.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
You're watching Ag Matters PM, and it is time for the latest Iowa Ag News headlines. Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Mike Naig announced this week that the Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship will invest in 14 urban water quality projects within communities of all sizes across the state of Iowa. Secretary Nag made the announcement with city leaders of Davenport at an event at Goose Creek Park, the location of one of the new water quality projects. Utilizing funding from the state's Water Quality Initiative and other sources, the Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship will provide cost-share grants that cover up to 50% of the total cost of each project. The department is investing nearly $3.6 million, which will leverage an overall investment of approximately $10 million across the 14 projects. The department provides financial and technical assistance to the communities and organizations that are implementing these urban water quality practices. To receive state funding, the urban water quality projects must include education and outreach components that involve local partners. These community-based projects raise awareness about new stormwater management methods and encourage others to adopt similar practices to improve water quality. Urban conservation projects include water quality practices like bioretention cells, bioswales, native plantings, permeable pavers, rain gardens, soil quality restoration, and wetlands, among many other proven practices. The University of Illinois Farm Policy News says that Iowa farmers told officials that they should block the sale of Iowa Fertilizer Company to Cook Industries. The sale is worth more than $3.6 billion. Farmers attending the Iowa Farmers Union listening session told Lena Kahn, the Federal Trade Commission chair, that consolidation is already squeezing their slim profit margins. The plant located in southeast Iowa received approximately $45 million in local, state, and federal economic development incentives and tax benefits over a decade ago to encourage the plant's construction. Farmers point out that the acquisition would be the latest in a series of mergers and consolidations that have limited the number of companies that they can purchase farm supplies and equipment from and sell livestock and crops. 4 companies account for 75% of the nation's supply of nitrogen. The Iowa Farm Bureau Federation has granted scholarships to 109 current and future college students looking to further their post-high school education within the agriculture industry. 27 scholarships were awarded to first-time recipients, and 78 scholarships were renewed for 2024. Scholarships are renewable up to 4 years or $10,000 for students planning to obtain a 2- or 4-year degree at an accredited higher education institution, including community colleges and technical schools. Eligibility is based on Farm Bureau membership, academic achievement, financial need, community and extracurricular involvement, and letters of recommendation. Additionally, students prepared an essay outlining their commitment to the rural communities of Iowa. And that brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And you can find our video content and previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget as well our free morning, midday, and closing market podcast, which are found on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Dustin Huffman, Riley Smith, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.